Well, we're just making our way down to the
Yep.
pier now,
What's
after
going
having
on?
a look round
I'll look at
the
the
lifeboat
underneath of the
station, as
pier.
in my previous video. I've always been
I've
interested
actually
in
got
this
some
pier and its
original
construction.
lithographs
It's got
of this
a
pier
fascinating history, and I thought
from
I'll take this
the time it was built.
opportunity and just have a
Gosh,
look
before it was
underneath
built.
it and have a closer look at the structure and see how it was built up. Now, the pier itself opened in June 1881. It was at the time the fourth longest in England, originally stretching a length of 1,844 feet, that's 562 metres. When originally built, it was a T-shaped pier with a saloon and concert hall at the pier head. Also,
In
steamboat trips ran from the pier to Norfolk until 1910. Now, during World War II, the pier was closed in an attempt to prevent enemy invasion. And a severe storm in 1978 caused significant damage to the pier, isolating the pierhead and shelter, which were ultimately demolished in the mid 1980s due to the significant costs of restoration. Also, part of the pier caught fire whilst demolition was taking place. Now, the pier has had various renovations in modern times, including the redecking and
kind of
waterproofing,
busy, is it?
allowing for operation during winter periods and permitting usage during rainy conditions. Now, the new owners who've acquired the pier in early 2021 announced projections to rebuild the structure to its original length.
Yeah, it's always noisy. Busy though. It's always popular these days.
In March 1919, the pier was damaged by a drifting schooner named Europa, creating a breach of 150 feet, approximately 46 metres, and that damage that was estimated to cost around £4,000 to repair. A temporary platform was erected to cover the gap and would last until June 1939, when a full restoration was completed at a cost of £3,272, and that's about equivalent to £215,000 in 2021. Incidentally, this short film is taken from the British Film Institute site, and if you're interested in old type of films like this, I've left a link below. Now, the present day pier length is 387 feet, or 118 metres long, and there's no remaining evidence now of the former pier head and shelters. Now,
Yep,
despite
I saw
its
that.
much reduced length,
I'll look at
it's a
the
major
underneath of
landmark
this
along the
pier.
beach, visible as far as Gibraltar
I've actually got
Point to
some
the south
original
and
lithographs of this pier
Inglemells to the north.
from the time it was built.
Now, the pier deck was refurbished during 2005 and 2006 at a cost of around £250,000, and further improvements were made during 2016 and 17 on the pier's seaward enclosed section, and this involved fitting new cladding to make it watertight and allowing the pier to open at weekends when demand requires. Now, the modern day pier has sections from various different periods, including the entrance pavilion from 1970, the central pier deck dating back to 1948, and the main deck stretching along the beach, being the original Victorian pier. Well, at the moment, I'm having to mute the soundtrack because there's a lot of pop music being played, and I don't want to get a strike by YouTube. I'm just having a look at the construction now. Whether it's steel or wrought iron, I'm not sure what these angles are made of. I would imagine it will be steel at this period. And there's the cast iron columns, the support columns. At one time, there would not have been as much sand here, and this has been blown over the years, because these columns would have been free of sand. You can see the construction underneath. The cross members again made of steel angle. And there above there's the modern wooden deck. The cast iron columns again with the fancy cast pattern on them. There's quite a lot of corrosion showing. It's really amazing how they've stood up all this time, really, with the severe salt corrosion you get at seaside. But it's really in reasonably good condition to say it was built so long ago. I'm just walking down now, a bit further towards the front. Shall have a look at the cross members, see how they're constructed. There's some more detail, and here you can see some quite severe corrosion, and more detail of the support columns. These are all made of cast iron, and again all filled with sand which has blown over the years. At one time they would have been freestanding like this. Now the support columns rest on cast iron bases which have been driven deep down through the sand and down into the clay layer. This number on this cast iron column doesn't mean it's the year of construction. This is just a reference number for these columns, probably a foundry number if anything. It would have been an amazing sight to see when it was in its full length, but it was destroyed. You can see one of the massive cross members supporting the columns. They're in very good condition considering all the corrosion. Very heavily constructed. And there's the steel cross members there, or stays. That one's below is very badly corroded. But there again, they've stood up well over the years. This is the furthest reach, which takes the most punishment with waves lapping at the base. And there you can see the actual pads what the columns rest on. And up above you get a decent view of the truss work which supports the wooden deck. And that's not looking particularly good with the cross members there, the cross support rods, which is corroded through and snapped. You can see how thick they are, how it's corroded and snapped. That's not going to affect the structure of the pier though. There's one of the huge cast iron cross members again. Fascinating construction. Now, with an estimated cost of around £19,000, equivalent to 2.1 million today, the foundations for the pier were laid in November 1879, and with a planned T-shaped design, including concert hall at the head. It opened on a Whit Monday on the 4th of June 1881 by the Duke of Edinburgh, Alfred, Duke of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha, at a cost of £20,840. That's equivalent to £2.3 million, and was one of the largest of the 82 piers constructed between 1815 and 1890, around the coastline of Britain. And during construction, the Earl of Scarborough, Aldred Lumley, had taken an interest in the new pier company, and by the time of the opening, he had become a major shareholder. Now, shelters were erected along the decking at every few hundred yards, with a small kiosk either side selling seaside food and related items. I'm not too sure whether this is an actual original seat from the period when the pier was built. It looks like it, but the original seats in the photograph and drawings I've seen has a gas pipe running along the top of the seat, as in this picture here. This is an actual seat from the pier, and you get a good view of the gas pipe running along the top. Here's a section from the original drawings of the pier, and there you can see the gas pipe on the upper left. Now there's a view here of some of the original seats, and there again you can see the gas pipe running along the top of the seats. And in this view you can see the gas lamps which the gas pipe supplied. It must have been a marvellous sight at night with all these gas lamps lit, giving off that soft yellow glow. Must have been amazing. Now this is a copy of the original plans for the pier when it was first going to be constructed. And this plan is from the engineer of 1880. Of course, this is the modern decking, which lies on the original framework underneath, which you just looked at. All these fancy castings on the base of these railings are not original. These are modern. Not too sure, but I think the decking is constructed of oak. With the look of it, it looks like oak. And here's another one of the seats with the ornate castings, the lion's head. They must be original. These they must be from the period because they're so elaborate are the castings. Now this is an unusual item I've never seen before. Apparently it's a wind turbine, and it's used to generate electricity to light up the pier at night, and it works off grid. They're fairly quiet apparently, and you can even mount these on rooftops. These are also omnidirectional, which means that they can capture the wind from all directions without turning. Very interesting. Well, just imagine what it would have been like all those years ago if these lights were gas, and the illumination they would have given off would have been really nice. Here we are at the end of the pier. Now the present owners of the pier apparently are planning to extend the pier to its original full length out into the sea there. It's going to be an expensive thing if they do that. I somehow can't really see it happening. The cost will be phenomenal at today's prices, the way things are going up, and the way the economy is now. I think it's something that will not happen for a long time, if ever. It would be nice to see the pier extended to its original length. It would certainly be a big attraction to Skegness. Now we're just making our way through the arcade as we did before in a previous video. They've certainly cleaned this place up. It's tidier now and looks a lot better than it did before. Well, it's certainly a big difference from when it was first built and modified. You can see the difference there in the arcade area, and what difference it is now. It's unbelievable how the change has been made. Now this picture could be showing either the architects and owners or the builders. Not sure. it really was getting a little bit tired, and in places it was rather grubby and tatty, especially the ceiling. But now with the improvements, they've made a nice job of the place. Well, there's one thing I'm glad to see it's been taken away, and that's that horrible speaker system which was outside the door. I had a lot of people complaining about the constant game announcement of this camel racing game inside, and people I spoke to said it were getting on their nerves around the area. And thank goodness it's been disconnected now, because it was really an irritating thing to hear. Well, that was the end of a long walk on a short pier. Now we're just making our way to our favourite watering hole at the coffee point at the Lucky Strike arcades. Probably one of the best places in Skegness where you can get a nice cup of coffee and a snack, or even a meal. Make our way up past McDonald's there and the Crazy Golf. There we are, the Lucky Strike. Very, very popular place is this. And they do serve some decent meals on the upper floors. I like the Art Deco style lettering on this lift, although this is probably one of the must be the slowest lift in Skegness. We'll make our way to a table now, order the coffee and snack, and relax. Well, I hope you found this of interest, and once again, thank you for watching.